Hola, hola, hola. Today we are in Icomaste, an eco village in Costa Rica in the Diamante Valley.
And we wanted to talk today about when to end therapy. But first, wanted to give one last piece of starting the therapeutic relationship, the healing relationship. And unless there's a big no, strong no, or a red flag, generally you want to give it 3 to 5 sessions if you're on the fence or not sure, or the conversation initially went well. You might want to give it a few sessions just to make sure, because generally it can take a little bit of time to get to know someone, especially in vulnerable places. So you want to start often with 3 to 5 to really do a test run. And last bit on that piece is there should be a little bit of a shift, even within 3 to 5 sessions. You should have some aha moment or feel something.
Some insight, something should shift for sure. So also with this topic of when to end therapy, the way we see it, there are, like with many other things, there's a spectrum. And on one side of the spectrum, with the most common thing that happens is that we leave or end therapy too soon. On the other side of the spectrum, which is, in my opinion, much less talked about, to be quite honest, is we stay too long. So we either leave too soon or stay too long. So we'll start with the leaving too soon.
In therapeutic terms, it's called the flight to health. So on the healing journey, if there's some nice insight or little transformation, we can say, aha, we're great, we're good, and thank you, goodbye, peace out, which of course you're free to do. And hopefully you bring it up before just leaving and terminating. And hopefully the therapist or healer is skilled enough to say, maybe let's wait a little bit, because it can be so intoxicating getting that insight or that nice shift. So to avoid that end of the spectrum of ending too soon, we just want to move a little bit slowly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we already talked about kind of the therapeutic relationship 101, and things that we see people don't know to do is that if you feel like there's something wrong within the therapeutic relationship or something's not working for you, bring it to a session, bring it up and confront it, because so much of the deepening and so much of the work happens in those tiny moments of what you might consider conflict. It shows you a lot about how you're currently dealing with conflict, your expectations about how people might respond to you asking for what you want, identifying your needs, which are things, that's why you're in therapy, and that's why you're coming to a healing professional, is to help with that. So bring it up. And I have several experiences personally of leaving therapy too soon. So I know all of the excuses that my head can make, also with coaches and other healers. And one of the probably the most dangerous ones is to think that I'm healed. Oh, okay, we worked on that. I don't feel depressed about that anymore. It's done. Well, the reason why our logo is a circle is because there are cycles of healing and there are different layers of healing.
So finishing the relationship is an art, not a science. Mm-hmm. And very important to, hone in on your intuition and trust and discernment. At the same time, like Bernadette was saying, there's so much ripeness in resistance. The whole point of healing is to get into those points, skillfully, okay, the points where there's some friction, and hopefully you're with a good healer where you can talk about that and work through it. And together start sensing into, yeah, you know what? This is about all the farther we go for a number of reasons. Their capacity, their training, their ability. You're moving. There's a whole bunch of reasons. But yeah, really want to give it some time to explore that together, because a lot of healing, a lot of opportunity when discussing it in the relationship.
So I think that's plenty on leaving too soon. And we have some comments here. The real KLC, who's a more than a fitness instructor, of course, a mindset coach as well, is enjoying the subject. So on the topic of staying too long, I know that sounds like we're talking about a romantic partnership, but again, a reminder that the therapeutic and healing relationship could mirror what you are doing in terms of patterns outside of that relationship. And if your healing practitioner doesn't point that out to you, then leave. But the staying too long, you have more experience.
And to be clear, at any point in the relationship, if there's any abuse or mistreatment or toxicity, get out immediately. Healing practitioners are human beings too, with their foibles, and they can be great with everyone else, and you can have some karmic thing. So of course, if there's ever anything off kilter, leave immediately. Yeah,
just don't let that be the excuse for leaving. Often we will advise, okay, go and speak to, if it is a therapist, you go and talk to another one or two therapists, explain the situation. And if you get some validation, or you might get some tips around how to manage the situation, but checking in with someone else is helpful.
So share personally, one important piece on the therapeutic journey is the attachment. And it is possible to be on the other side of the spectrum and stick around too long, because again, therapists are human beings and can get caught up with attachment to money or the gratification of helping. And yeah, I can share one experience where I stayed in a little bit too long, and there were some months of not going anywhere, just spinning. And I had to work on my boundaries and my confronting, saying, hey, this isn't working, And so, yeah, just one thing to be aware of is the attachment piece of staying too long.
So again, bringing it up and figuring it out together is the most healthy thing that you can do. And it will help you, like I just said, it mirrors your other relationships. So it'll help you in all of intimacy and communication.
So we just wanted to end on that note with those 3 big points that, like, we do a lot of work here at Souls Enterprise on the self-trust, right? So important of when to end therapy. You can trust yourself. You work on that. And that's tied in with your intuition. There is an intuitive piece of knowing. And last but not least, discernment. This, of course, goes to all relationships, discerning the sweet spot of healing, growing conflict versus just spinning in cycles. So it's awesome stuff to discuss, and we look forward to exploring it with you.
So link in bio for Trauma to Triumph, which begins September 12th, and you can join the wait list. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Much love. Thank you, everyone.